Alright, so shalom, shalom.
Alright, shalom, shalom.
Alright, this is your brothers here from the GMS Prophetic Vibration Camp in Trinidad. Brother Kahan.
Brother Nagad.
Alright, with another edification to the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Alright, so first and foremost, we'd like to give all praises to Yahweh
Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash.
Alright, double honors unto the apostles, the bishops, the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Double salutation unto the brothers. You know that preaching and teaching the truth through the four corners of the earth, risking their lives and the freedom to do so. Now more than ever, shalom unto the speckled bird Israelites, and shalom unto the very few but faithful Akwat, which is the sisters. So we just, this edification here, I ain't have a title for it as yet. Alright, but we just going through this chapter here, Psalms, the book of Psalms chapter 49. Alright, you know, as we in transit here, heading to our respective plantation. Alright, but I will read this Psalms here actually in the NLT. Alright? Read it out in the NLT. Okay? For time's sake, you know, you all as you could see it parallel there, so whosoever viewing the video, you know, they could cross-reference with the KJV, as you could see it both parallel there on the NLT and KJV. But nevertheless, Psalms 49 and 1, where it reads, for the choir director, a psalm of the descendants of Korah. Alright, and this Korah, it is speaking about the Edomites. Alright, Korah was I think the great grandson, no, the son, Salakia, the son of Esau. Alright, one of the sons of Esau. So he was a duke, and you can go and research it on the interliner. Go and research it on the interliner, because I don't want to misinform now. Alright? Yeah, I don't want to misinform. Alright? But nevertheless, it says, listen to this, all you people. Pay attention, everyone in the world. High and low, rich and poor. Listen. For my words are wise, and my thoughts are filled with insight. I listen carefully to many proverbs and solve riddles with inspiration from a harp. Why should I fear when trouble comes? When enemies surround me? Alright? They trust in the wealth and boast of great riches. Alright, and this is Esau in a nutshell. Alright, this is Esau in a nutshell, because when you go to Psalms, I had a interchange within the Bible apps. Alright, when you go to Psalms 52 and 7, Psalms 52 and 7, it reads, alright, and this is concerned, this psalm is also directed unto Esau. Alright, Psalms 52 and 7, it reads, Lo, this is the man that made not Yahweh his strength, but trusted in the abundance of his riches, and strengthened himself in wickedness. Alright, so this is Esau for you. Alright, they trust in their wealth and boast in great riches. Alright, that's why they rule the world in such a childless behavior. You know, like you ever taking them rich, in them schools, you know, whether it be private school or whatnot, you know, a child that is born into wealth, you know, how they react and how they treat others and whatnot, so forth, how they look down at others, you know. In that kind of way, you ever go through that, like witness that when in the days of going to school, you know, it is always hard at that, you know, that particular child that parents, you know, that they are well off through their parents, and how they look down at people, you know, they might always have the latest sneakers, you know, money in the pocket all the time, whatnot, so forth, you know, they spoil now, but you know, they spoil that kind of way, you know, so they have no regard for no one else. And that is Esau. Alright? It says, yet they cannot redeem themselves from debt. Alright? Yet they cannot redeem themselves from debt by paying a ransom to Yahweh. Alright? Because, hey, you cannot recompense to Yahweh. There is no level of recompense that you could pay back to Yahweh for all the wickedness that you all have done upon the face of the earth. Alright? It says redemption does not come so easily. Alright? Redemption does not come so easily. Because it comes just like, again, when them rich people, when they try and do some sort of shit, some sort of nonsense, alright? They feel well, they know they can get away by bribes.
Yeah.
And the scripture talk about that, you know. There's a particular scripture that talk about that, but it can't come, I can't collect it into my head right now, you know. I can't even paraphrase it, but I know there's a scripture that speaks about that, you know. They feel that they could bribe their way out. And this is the thing, you know, with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua, you cannot bribe him. Alright? You will with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua, you will have to face your judgment.
Yep.
Because the scripture says, let me see how quick I could get that. Nahum. It's Nahum, right? Nahum 1 and 3, I believe. 1 and 2. Alright, I will start from verse 2. Nahum 1 and 2. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua is jealous, and the Lord revenge it. The Lord revenge it, and is furious. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserve his wrath for his enemies. The Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. Alright, so the wicked will never get away. Alright, he will not acquit the wicked, find them not guilty now, boy. Alright, the Lord had his way in the whirlwind, and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. Alright, so when I go back, alright, when I go back to verse 8, Psalms 49 and 8, where it reads, redemption does not come so easily, for no one can ever pay enough to live forever and never see the grave. Alright, so you can't buy your way out of debt.
Correct.
Alright, debt is inevitable. This is the whole thing here. Alright, debt is inevitable. Esau trying to find a way to some carnal way, alright, to get immortality,
Right.
alright, so that they wouldn't face their judgment. But hey, that will never be accomplished.
Right.
Alright, so it says those who are wise must finally die, just like fools and senseless, leaving all their wealth behind.
You right?
We have something to say there?
No, you go ahead.
Alright, leaving all their wealth behind.
The reggae singer again, it's still sing a song like that. They say the wise die just as the fool.
Can.
Because the fool in his heart say there is no power, so he feel he can live forever. And he's already represent the fool in him.
Can.
Right? He already represent the fool. And of course 2/3 of our people who are foolish because they're being baptized with his spirit.
Can.
They are foolish. The scripture say what? How you say foolish are they vain in their thought or something like that, the scripture say. But anyway, go ahead.
Alright, it says the grave is their eternal home, where they will stay forever. They may name their estates after themselves.
Right.
Alright, which is the thing to the dwelling places will stay forever, and you know, they call their land, they call the lands after their names. Alright? So it says, but their family, but their fame, Salakia, but their fame will not last. They will die just like animals.
Wow.
Alright? They will die just like animals. Because at the end of the day, they are beasts. Alright? They are beasts.
That need to be slaughtered.
That needs to be slaughtered. Right? That needs to be put down.
What the Bible call them brute beasts.
Beasts can. This is the fate of fools. Though they are remembered as being wise, like sheep, they are led to the grave, where death will be their shepherd.
Where what?
Death will be their shepherd.
And here's what the scripture is saying. This is their sheep. Read that part over again.
Yeah. Like sheep, they are led to the grave, where death will be their shepherd.
And death will be the shepherd. The shepherd is a leader, right?
Can.
Lead the flock. So death gonna lead them.
Can.
Because in fact, what did the script? What did Word.
In the morning, the godly will rule over them. And when it speaks about in the morning, it speaks about the time of light, the time of righteousness. Yeah. All right, that what that morning represent. All right, in the time of righteousness, all right, the godly will rule over them. All right,
which is really going back in it. Here we say the time of godliness. Now, what is that godly? What is that godly status? A godly status is we gain back the kingdom and the rulership. And we having that righteous scepter to rule over Esau. And not just Esau, but all the other nations. But in particular, Esau, Edom. Mm-hmm. And the scriptures say, and you will do it to Edom according to my anger.
Yeah. So it says, their bodies will rot in the grave, far from their grand estates. Alright? But as for me, Yahweh will redeem my life. He will snatch me from the power of the grave.
Right? Exactly. And that's what David was crying out to the Lord for. You know, I remember, I just want to bear it in mind, when David talked about he and himself is a representation of the nation of Israel.
Yes.
David being the king representing his nation. So when he say, when leave my soul in hell and this kind of thing like that, hell talking about turmoil. You understand? That goes into what? Slavery, but not beyond slavery, it goes into Jacob trouble that come in. Because the scripture says there's even the time of Jacob trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. That goes back to David prayer, thou shalt not leave my soul in hell. Right? So the Lord will not acquit the righteous with the wicked.
So it says, so don't be dismayed, all right, which is to be frightened, all right. So don't be dismayed when the wicked grow rich and their homes become more ever splendid. All right, that is why the scripture say, when you go to Psalm 73 and 3, where it says, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked, for there are no bands in their debt, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness, they have more than the heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly. Concerning oppression, they speak loftily. You understand?
Yeah.
I'm jumping down to verse 12 where it reads, behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world, they increase in riches. Yeah. So, as the scripture say, envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. So don't be surprised when you see them with the riches, because the thing about it is, this is their time now. Alright? They are living through their blessing right now. And the thing is, how they got their riches? They got their riches by their blessing, which is the sword. Alright? But, hey, at the ending of it all, there is a judgment that soon awaits them. This is the whole high about this thing. At the ending, they're going to receive their judgment. Alright? So when you go back, which where I'd read by, let me see, but as no, verse 16. Yeah, verse 16. Verse 16, I'm reading over verse 16, Psalm 49 and 16. So don't be dismayed when the wicked grow rich and their homes become more ever splendid.
Yeah, the scripture say envy not the oppressed and
Choose none of his ways. Can.
You understand? And then he say, I see David say another psalm, he say, I see the wicked spread their wings over like a green bay tree.
Can.
But in a while withered away.
Can. Right. So it says, for when they die, they take nothing with them. Their wealth will not follow them into the grave.
And that what Esau think. Esau in what thought is that his house and his will continue forever.
Can.
And to all generations. That's how his thought. But the Most High setting them up for a fall. So he causing them to think now they going to last forever. Not knowing.
Pride, you see, it's pride.
Can.
Pride.
And not knowing that they are set up for a fall.
Can.
Mm-hmm.
So it says, in this life, they consider themselves fortunate and applauded for their success. Alright, the world look up to these people and applaud them for their success.
Yeah, in particularly Jake.
Jake, you understand?
Jake can't get enough for
you ain't see that kind of money Jeff Bezos have, boy, and Elon Musk, boy. I wish I could be like Elon Musk, boy. I wish I could be like Jeff Bezos. I wish I could be like Bill Gates. This, that, the other. You understand? When these people are the fucking wicked. Alright? And these people, alright, they get their riches through wickedness.
And it's where we say envying them not.
Can.
Think to be like them.
Can.
Because that is an abomination unto the Lord. The Lord make you a righteous branch. You want to be an abominable branch.
Can. It says, but they will die. But they will die.
So it's like
Yeah.
That's what the scripture say, in our ignorance. The Lord will wink at us at times in our ignorance. Because most of the time Jake say things through ignorance.
Can.
The word ignorance just means not knowing. So they say things through ignorance and the Lord will wink at them. Because remember how you put it that way, Jake, in this kingdom, Jake is set up, his mind is like set up as mental genocide now. Mentally to destroy himself. How Esau set up this king that we should, come to him to the one to all things goes back in the law. And we should, we go want to be like they in the kingdom. They go want to be like us. They go be grieving, and about the scripture say the children will complain of what? An ungodly father. Yeah.
So it says, but they will die like all before them and never again see the light of day. Alright? People who boast of their wealth don't understand they will die just like animals. You understand? There's where it is. And I would end off with this last scripture here, which is Proverbs.
Hey, give us the last scripture to end up with. Well, you go ahead, read the Proverbs and Psalm 137.
Alright, Proverbs 11 and I think it was 4. Yeah, Proverbs 11 and 4, where it reads, Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. Verse 7, when a wicked man dieth, his expectation shall perish, and the hope of the unjust men perisheth.
The unjust men perisheth, as the scriptures.
Psalms 137, you said, right?
Before you go for that, I want another scripture with Lord, the Spirit of the Lord, put that scripture there.
Give me.
Richard got by deceit.
That is yeah. 10 and 8. That is Sirach 10 and 8. Sirach 10 and 8, as it reads, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
And that is what Esau fearing right now. That is what Esau fearing right now, because the high elite, the high up, they know that their time is up, they always have records, knowing that every empire that they set up have a time to rule
And a time to fall.
and a time to fall. And they know this is about their time because the Bible prophesied their time to fall. You understand? So that is what they all staying up about.
Can.
You understand?
Can.
We in Israel now have to take note and remember. In fact, give me Psalm 137 now.
Yeah, because
And
we
start
almost
from
reach.
verse 7.
Yeah. We almost reach. Psalms 137
Start from verse 7.
and verse 7. Psalms 137 and 7 it reads, Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, Raise it, even to the foundation
So
thereof.
the Lord said, call all these things to remembrance. That we say, behold, the days come when I will bring back the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, meaning that he will bring all these things back to remembrance.
Mhm.
We will remember the atrocities we went through. In fact, the Lord said he will stop the spirit of Judah once more.
Can.
Yeah, that's why you say he will save the tens of Judah first. So
Can.
you got to stop the spirit.
Can.
So they go remember, bring all these things back to remember.
Mm-hmm.
You understand about the atrocity of this devil?
Can.
Read.
Verse 8, O daughter of Babylon,
Mhm.
who are to be destroyed,
Right, daughter of Babylon, or in some cases, some scriptures say virgin daughter of Babylon.
can.
And it just virgin just means that she was never touched. You
Can.
know, or untouched daughter.
Can.
You understand? But the Lord is about to touch she.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for she to get wooden.
Can.
And Yabashim Yoshai is going to
Yeah.
bring that wooden upon her.
I can. It says, O daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed,
Yeah.
happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones.
Yeah, happy, and the Lord say, happy shall we be when we executing them judgment upon her.
Can.
Happy shall you be when you're meditating terror upon them.
Can.
Doing all, and the scripture don't lie. The Lord said, double unto her double.
Double in the cup that she had filled, fill
Yeah,
unto her
fill
double.
unto her double. Reward her as she has served you. I mean, when they put all the things together, you couldn't want to be a Christian and an evil thing.
Can.
Ah, boy,
Can.
Jake.
It is what it is.
Anyway, with that,
Anyhow, with that, we hope you all are edified through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Khan
Alright, this is your brother Kahan.
and Brother Nagad.
Alright, signing out. Alright, saying Kal Halayam La Alahayanawa Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Kodash. Alright, double honors unto the apostles, the bishops, the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Double salutation unto the brothers who preaching and teaching the truth through the four corners of the earth, risking their lives and the freedom to do so now more than ever. Shalom unto the speckled bird Israelites, and shalom unto the very few but faithful Akwat, which is the sisters that listening and learning. Until again, we say shalom.
Shalom.
Wa bad babal.
Wa abad babal.